big night tonight in the Republican presidential race, but was it a game changer? The candidates tackling the economy, the president's policies, and each other's ideas. Former House Speaker and presidential candidate Newt Gingrich joins us from the first primary state, New Hampshire. Good evening, sir.
It's good to be with you.
You know, I love talking about the issues of the day to see exactly, what kind of president any candidate's going to be. So let me ask you, if you were president of the United States today, or even back at the end of September when the first arrest was made of this terrorist, what would you be doing? How would you lead?
Well, I believe strategically we have to be for the replacement of the Iranian regime. It is a tiny step in the right direction. We should be actively funding every dissident group in Iran. There are lots of things we could do to destabilize and ultimately replace this dictatorship, and it's a mistake for us to try to find a way to deal with them as Obama has, because they're in the end not going to be reconcilable. They are our mortal enemies. Percent of the country speaks languages other than Farsi, which is Persian, and so you really have a lot of potential. Younger Iranians, by every poll we've ever seen, overwhelmingly hate the government. So if you had an intelligent, clever approach to these things, you should be able to organize a replacement movement, build an effect. Well, why can't you have an Iranian summer? I've been talking about this Arab Spring talk. We ought to have a Cuban Spring, a Venezuelan Spring, a North Korean Spring, and an Iranian Spring. There's no reason, and for that matter, we should finish the job in Syria using nonviolent techniques to maximize the opposition's opportunities. And I think that whether it was Rick Santorum was a very good proposal on manufacturing. Herman Cain, who is endlessly funny, and I didn't really realize, I knew it, but I had forgotten the implication, that he had served in the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City, was on the board in the 1990s. Both a sign of how much he knows, but also a sign that he and Ron Paul are going to have some really interesting conversations about the Federal Reserve System. And of course, Ron Paul was very happy tonight to have all the conversation about Bernanke and the Federal Reserve and the need to audit the Federal Reserve, which is an issue he's been pioneering for, I guess, 30 years now.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, sir.
Good to be with you.
Coming up, a new fire story.